You need to stop chasing love. You need to stop chasing love. Stop chasing love. It's so crazy. Like today in this age, people are so worried about being in a relationship, or it's like relationships are very sexualized. Like there's so much sexual content out there that it confuses people, especially like the younger viewers and younger people who consume social media. It makes social media look bad because there's a lot of negativity about social media, but like social media isn't all bad, but all this over sexualized content is really just hurting the platforms. So much of the entertainment culture and relationship culture is based off of sex, and it's like it's got people in a chokehold. And there's nothing wrong with being in a relationship and all that stuff that comes with it, but it's got us in such a chokehold. That's the only thing we can talk about, and that's the only thing that people live off of. That's a lot of people's motivation in life, is just get into a relationship. And that's crazy because once you get into a relationship, what are you going to do after that? You got to have some substance in your life. You can't just be in a relationship and that's it. Like it's not just some fairy tale happy ending. You're in it and you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. You got to have substance inside that relationship. You got to have things to talk about. You got to have passions and a purpose. And that's a big thing I want to talk about, is like finding and chasing purpose. Don't chase love. And when I say don't chase love, you want a relationship, but you need to find your purpose and your passions first, or at least have that kind of figured out, or have an idea where you want to be with that before you start trying to figure out relationships, because a relationship can stop you from pursuing your passions and your purpose. There are a lot of people who don't have professional skill sets. Like they don't have a skill that can make them money. They don't have manners or proper etiquette. They don't have proper hygiene because they're so worried about being in a relationship. They don't make time and set time to figure that stuff out. They're just relationship, girls, guys, whatever. Like it's crazy. Like calm down. Relationships aren't everything. We're living life backwards. There's so much content on like alpha male, red pill, alpha woman, high valued man, high valued women. Like I get it. There's pieces of that type of stuff that actually is helpful to people, but a lot of it is like covered with a very sexualized direction, and it's also presented in a way that can be harmful to people if they don't ingest it the right way. There's a lot of stuff about building your confidence, building your self-esteem, your hygiene and all that people like that talk about, but some people don't even see none of that. They just see relationship. I need to be the boss. I need to be making six figures. I need a man who's making six figures. I'm not going to pay half the bills, this, that. Like none of that matters. Figure out where you're heading in life, and then all that stuff will come. Don't worry about getting a man who's going to have a six-figure income. Worry about you first. That stuff can come later, because depending on how you're living your life, you might not even need someone with a six-figure income. Why do you need someone to take care of you in that type of aspect? Like I get it. And all of that, like the six-figure stuff, my wife's not going to work, or I'm going to be a stay-at-home husband, I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife, like however you want to spend that, it really goes depending on the household and the family and the relationship. Like everyone's dynamic can be different depending on who the person is. Like everyone has different personalities. Everyone's household is not going to look the same, but you can't decide that stuff before you even like decide where you think your future is going to go. Like you need to have a skill set. You need to have great character traits. Like you need to work on yourself before you start picking out, I'm gonna be living in a $500,000 house, I'm gonna have a BMW, I'm gonna have a Mercedes, and I have a Tesla. Like you sound crazy. Like how are you gonna get there? That's really the real question. And it's not gonna be by just blinking. You're not gonna get there by blinking and breathing. You gotta work. You gotta put time and effort and energy into that. And we're so fixated on getting things instantly that we're not even at a place where we're working hard enough to get the rewards we want. We see rappers and celebrities on social media and we see them have that stuff and we kind of see them get it quickly and we assume because they got it, we can get it. And yeah, you can get it, but you got to work hard to get it. And sometimes some people don't work as hard as other people to get stuff, but you can't really judge somebody else's work life and style and like what happens in their life to yours. Like you can't compare the things that happen to them happening to you because everyone's life is different. Everyone's journey is different. What happens to one person may not happen to you. It may not happen as fast. It may not happen exactly the same. So you can't base someone else getting a Lamborghini at age 16 to someone else who gets one at 54. Like it just depends on your lifestyle, what kind of work you're willing to put in, and just time, and honestly, sometimes just luck. It's crazy how people just feel like they're entitled to just really nice things. To get really nice things, you got to work for it. To be in a nice relationship, you got to work for it. To get a nice job, you got to work for it. To have a nice life, you got to work for it. To have nice kids, you got to work for it. It's not instant. You just don't get that stuff just because you wish it. You got to have a strong will. You got to have a strong work ethic, and you just got to be willing to get your hands dirty. There's so many resources out here like YouTube, TikTok, the internet, Google, and even school where like you can learn skills that can get you where you want to be. Figure out what job you want to live or what job you want to do. Like you don't have to work the same job your whole life. You don't have to do the same things your whole life. You don't have to work a 9 to 5. You don't have to not work a 9 to 5. You could be a business owner. You could work a 9 to 5 if that's what you want. That's completely fine. Like that's normal. That's cool. You could be a manager. You could do whatever you want, but just try to figure out what it is you do want. If you want to be a business owner, figure out how that works. Figure out all the work you got to put into it and see if that's for you, because that's not for everyone. Being a content creator or working at McDonald's, working at Burger King, working as a lawyer, a doctor, a business analyst, data analyst. There's so many jobs out here. Just take your time to really figure out what skills you want. Do you want to be a video editor? Do you want to be a filmmaker? Do you want to drive NASCARs? Do you want to be a professional athlete? Figure out what you're passionate about, how much work you're willing to put in to be good at something, and figure it out. YouTube University is a thing. You can find out a lot of stuff on YouTube for free. There are people with courses where you can pay a little bit of money to learn things. You can go to college to learn skills for a specific career. You just got to know what you want and be on the right path. If school is your thing, figure out what you want to do, how to get there. If you need school, use it. If you don't. But there's ways to get there. But back on the relationship, don't jump into a relationship if you're not a good communicator, you don't have good hygiene, you don't have good manners, you don't have good etiquette. You're just wasting your time and somebody else's time. Work on yourself before you start trying to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a husband or wife, a spouse, a partner to somebody else. I'm going to give you 3 keys on chasing your passion, purpose, and not to chase love. The first one is basically what I just said. Chase passion and purpose. Do not chase love. Don't jump into a relationship until you're ready and you bring something to the table. Figure out what avenues of life you want to live. Figure out what kind of job you want to live. Figure out what kind of job you want to work. Figure out what kind of partner you want to have. And figure out what are the steps to getting there. Do I need school? Can I learn this on my own? Are there people who teach this specific thing? Is it very niche? Whatever it is, however you need to get there, learn it. Try to figure something out. Ask around. Thanks for listening, and don't forget your keys.